All right. Of course, we all have the update of Kanu's case in the Federal High Court, but then there are some sort of misleading information about what truly transpired in the Federal High Court. Even though I made video about it, but I kept on seeing how people are perceiving it as whether Nnamdi apologized in the court or not, and I think it's well necessary for me to actually come out to clear my audience about what truly transpired. It was his lawyer who deemed it fit to be like, okay, let me address the previous misconduct of my client, that he was sorry. Then the judge in the other way around was trying to be like, oh, I can understand someone that have actually faced a charge or a case for the period of over 10 years to date, and it's obvious that he doesn't even know where the case is being headed, that it is justifiable for him to actually react to all of those things. The new judge was some sort of citing out that Nnamdi himself have stayed for 10 years gap between when he was initially arraigned in 2015, and at that time he was 47 years, and today Nnamdi is 57 years. That is a gap of 10 years. So he was citing that the case have actually had a toll on him, that anyone can actually make such utterances. So Kanu never really apologized in any form. It was his lawyer that did on his behalf. So that is cleared. Next thing we should be talking about is if the new assigned judge is going to be fair to Nnamdi Kanu. I think when it comes to court, whatever case that is before any court of the land, we should not jump into the conclusion of knowing if someone is going to be fair or not. I think that is more like context of the court. So I think we should just watch closer, because I've seen some people coming out to say that there are some signs by the new judge that probably going to mean that he's going to be fair to Nnamdi Kanu. We don't need to use fair, whether someone is going to be fair or not. What we should be talking about is the case before the court. A lot of people are actually concluded that the new judge is already being fair to Nnamdi Kanu, but then he doesn't need to be fair to Nnamdi Kanu. If Nnamdi Kanu is not guilty of the crime he is charged for, then it's the law that is fair to him, not the judge. If the judge should be fair to Nnamdi Kanu, then let's start from Supreme Court. This is somebody that was discharged and acquitted. You understand? So he would have been like, oh, I can't have any say in this case. You understand? The Supreme Court have let it stand on the case. So I can't stand to have a case to talk about a case that has already been determined by the highest court of the land. You understand? So let's watch and see whether Nnamdi Kanu is going to be freed by the law, not by the Omotosho or any judge for that matter. You understand? It's all about the law, not about the personality that is presiding over the case. So that is cleared. There's also been another question whether Nnamdi Kanu is facing persecution or prosecution. Of course, we all know the difference between the two, and to me, I do not believe that somehow Nnamdi Kanu is facing prosecution. That is a normal procedure for any case that comes to the court. But then I think that he is being unlawfully incarcerated, and that's where people are seeming to take it as a persecution, even though he do go out to face trial and all that. And at some point, I think his lawyers have actually filed to Nnamdi Kanu to be taken to Kuje prison, where people that are facing trials are taken to. So but all of those things never happened. So for those people that are asking if Nnamdi Kanu is facing persecution or prosecution, for me, I think somehow he's facing persecution, because he has been incarcerated for so long, and just like the new judge rightfully said, his case is so critical that he doesn't even know where his case is taking him to, and that's very, very bad. That is traumatic, And for those asking, I believe we'll just watch. You understand? Whatever that is going to be happening in court in coming days, we should just watch and see how it's going to be playing out. Again, a lot of people have actually come out to be like, okay, would this case ever be settled before the judiciary? Considering the fact that the Supreme Court passed a judgment. I think most of you can remember when the Supreme Court passed a judgment, freeing and acquitting Kanu, but the federal government, never obeyed the court. That at some point, I think that was during the election, before Nnamdi Kanu was actually arrested. I think there was going to be any election, maybe in Anambra, and that was when the Attorney General at that time, Malami, filed a case of stay of execution, which actually gave a room for Nnamdi Kanu's continuous detention. So, and a lot of things just played out. And to me, I'm still asking the same question: if this case would ever be settled in the court, because I'm not saying, forget about signing a new judge and all that. Nnamdi Kanu's case, I don't think it's more like it's a political case. I do insist that they should initiate a political understanding to, elevate everything on the area of political solution. And to me, this is what I have to say. I think what I feel that we should see as the political solution, or what the federal government should do. And those things are, we all know that Nnamdi Kanu was propelled by something. Consider the fact that when he started this new agitation of his stuff, when he started the agitation, he was hosted at, I think, in Enugu in 2017. That should be 30th August 2017, if I'm correct. He was hosted by the Eastern governors and Igbo leaders, where they were like demonstrating on what to do about the issues he raised about governance in the East, and also to how it is being linked to the national politics. So he raised those issues and he complained about a lot of things, seaports, federal road and all of those things. There are many things he raised, So when those things were actually, raised by Nnamdi Kanu, political leaders in the East were like, okay, this is how we're going to be doing it. But I don't really know what really happened. But what I believe is that those things were never met, because Nnamdi Kanu's case was still pending before the courts as at that time, where they held this whole meeting in Enugu. And after the meeting, Nnamdi Kanu went home, of course. I think a few days later on, his home was attacked and all that. And to me, I believe that those things should be addressed. Those things that propelled Nnamdi Kanu to be, agitating for this particular biafra. Most of the governors in the East actually have contributed in some ways or the other, have actually contributed to what is really going on, in the East today. I mean, they have the capacity to actually initiate for this very political solution, which, if they truly should come out for it, what we've seen those years is, them playing it in public and not working on it underground. You understand? And that's where we picture it as they are not serious about the whole political solution. Nnamdi Kanu's release is very necessary to actually restore the peace and security challenges in the zone. Because having it that a lot of people have actually committed or come out to play sort of criminalities on the cause of Nnamdi Kanu's detention. So all those things are some things that we should be pushing up for. The federal government should also look into it, having it that we are talking about all of us are Nigerians, we're all Nigerians, and at this point, if some part of the country is bleeding, there is every likelihood it's more like every other part is bleeding. Nnamdi Kanu's release is a necessity to curb security challenges in the region. For me, it is a political issue that can only be resolved in a political manner. You understand? There's nothing more to this. And that's why we've had this delay for a very long time. The case is getting to nowhere. As the concerned citizen of Nigeria, I believe that Nnamdi Kanu's case should be, reconciled politically. Key point of necessity is Nnamdi Kanu's release. We should just forget about what is playing out before the court. You understand? Nnamdi Kanu's release should, it's more like it's going to be a relief to this very region. His release will do a lot of justice, and it will be a safety, a very excellent relief to the region, and a lot of things will come to its normality. Whatever you have as regards to what you feel that should be done so that this whole political issue should be subjected, just put them on the comment section. Let's see what you feel that is best to the resolution of Nnamdi Kanu and federal government issue.